Forgive your ex-girlfriend for a long-term relationship. If you clicked this video, it's because part of you is still thinking about your ex-girlfriend. Maybe you're angry towards her. Maybe you feel betrayed. Maybe you feel disappointed. Maybe you're telling yourself, I don't need to forgive her. She was wrong. Well, I've spent over 10 years studying about relationship and relationship dynamics, masculine frame, emotional patterns, etc., you name it. I've made my own mistakes in my relationship too. I've held resentment towards my ex, and I replayed conversations in my head, and I've seen how that mindset destroys and destroyed my next relationship even before it happened. So today I'm going to break this down with three clear points. First, the definition of forgiveness. Forgiveness means you stop feeling angry or resentful toward someone for an offense, flaw, or mistake. You have to see and notice what that does not mean. It does not mean that she was right. No. It does not mean that you approve of what she did. No. It does not mean that you will take her back. Also, no. Forgiveness is not about her, it's about you. It's about you removing your emotional poison from your own system. Because if you do not forgive her, you remain emotionally attached to her through anger. And most men don't realize this. Anger is an attachment. When you feel angry or resentful, that strong emotion acts like a glue. It sticks to your attention and focus, and this attention and focus focuses on the exact characteristics that made you mad. So let's say that your ex-girlfriend uh, ex-girlfriend was emotionally unstable, uh, disrespectful or manipulative, or hyper independent and competitive. If you're still angry about those traits, your mind keeps on replaying them. You talk about them, you complain about them, you analyze them, you relive them. That emotional charge burns into your nervous system. And here's the dangerous part. When you meet a new woman, your brain is no longer neutral towards her. It is your subconscious mind is scanning for the same traits that you've seen within your ex-girlfriend. Why is that? It's because of your unresolved anger. And this unresolved anger creates tunnel vision. Tunnel vision. You subconsciously seek what you emotionally charged by, because the language of subconscious is emotion. So the cycle looks like this. You feel attracted to certain woman. You start noticing the same patterns. You get triggered and feel disappointed. You become resentful again. You leave, and then all women are like this. And you repeat the same cycle. Find a woman, feel hope, get disappointed, feel resentment, repeat. And this is a vicious cycle. And the common denominator is not all women. No, 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 don't say that. Don't say all women are making me angry. No. It is just your unresolved anger. By the way, if you're an executive, entrepreneur, or high performing man who desires to find a long term wife material woman and not repeat the pain of your past breakup, link in the description to work with me one on one. Here's the second point. Let's talk about your attention and focus. Your brain has something called reticular activating system, RAS. The RAS is a brain's filtering system. Every second you're exposed to massive amount of information in this world. There could be car, there could be, I don't know, clothes. There's a lot of information. So your brain cannot consciously process all of these things. So your brain has to filter. and brain filters through reticular activating system. It allows in what you're consciously or subconsciously focusing on. What you consciously and subconsciously focus on is the only thing that you're going to accept in your conscious mind. So when you buy a red car, for example, you start suddenly see red cars everywhere, and you know that's how brain highlights them. So this is the exact same mechanism in dating. If you are angry at your ex-girlfriend, what are you focusing on? Disrespect, disloyalty, manipulation, competition, attitude. Your reticular activating system now filters for those patterns. Even if you meet a calm, feminine, respectful woman, your brain ignores those traits. It filters them out. So instead, it searches for small signs that resemble your past pain. And you magnify those red flags and overlook green flags. So, because emotionally, you're still scanning for the threat, your anger tells your brain, find this pattern again so I don't get hurt. But paradoxically, by focusing on the this pattern, you're actually recreating it unconsciously. Your reticular activating system filters out the woman that you want and highlights the characteristics that you don't want. And this is how resentment and anger silently sabotages your future relationships. And so here's the third point. Forgiveness breaks the pattern. Forgiveness breaks the pattern. When you forgive, you remove emotional charge. You stop rehearsing the pain. You stop identifying with the betrayal. You stop labeling a woman based on your ex-girlfriend. Really. When your emotional charge drops, your perception changes. You become neutral, and when you see the woman, you see woman with much more clear lens. And this neutrality is power, because now your reticular activating system is no longer filtering from anger. It is filtering from your intention. So after you forgive your ex-girlfriend, if you consciously decide, I want a respectful, cooperative, feminine woman who supports my leadership, your brain will start noticing these traits within a woman that you meet. You'll feel calmer, you'll feel less reactive, you become less triggered, and that changes behavior. You lead more confidently. You test which kind of woman that you accept or not accept. You select more rationally, not emotionally. So this is not a like woo-woo spiritual talk. This is a neuroscience. So this emotional focus shapes perception, and perception shapes choices, and your choices shapes outcome. If you stay resentful, you'll recreate your past. If you forgive, you reset your pattern. Long-term relationship success is not a luck. It is an internal alignment through forgiveness. Forgiving your forgiving your ex, not sex, is not weakness. It is not weakness to forgive. It is a strategic approach towards relationship. You're not forgiving her for her benefit. You're forgiving her for your own benefit, for your future relationships. You're forgiving her so she stops occupying the mental real estate in your brain, in your mental health, in your mental life. So as long as you're angry, she still controls your emotional state. As long as you're resentful, she still shapes your dating choices. And that is power that you're giving away. So you have to release the anger, drop the anger, and you have to extract the lesson. And you have to keep the standard, make the strong standard. You have to drop the emotional charge and forgive her. Really, you really need to forgive her. And that's a maturity. Goal is not to avoid pain forever. Goal is to avoid repeating the same pattern over and over and over and over again. You have to forgive. You have to forgive to not repeat the same cycle. You have to reset your focus, reprogram your filter. Stop focusing on the negative traits of a woman and start focusing on the feminine traits. If you choose a woman from your clarity, then you will achieve the long term relationships that you truly want. And this is how you build a long term relationship instead of repeating the disappointment in your life. Thank you.